Earlier today, the American people heard from Joe Biden publicly for the first time in a number of days when he called into Vice President Kamala Harris's first campaign event. Now, Biden's still fighting off another bout of COVID. Didn't sound so good. Take a listen.
So much more we're going to get done. And so I want to say hello to Kamala if she can hear me. I know she's going to be speaking shortly. And I want to say to the team, embrace her. She's the best. I want to call today to thank everybody in this effort. I know yesterday's news was surprising and it was hard for you to hear, but it was the right thing to do. I know it's hard because you poured your heart and soul into me to help us win this thing, help me get this nomination, help me win the nomination, and then go on to win the presidency. But you know, you're an amazing team. But we've got a great. I think we made the right decision. I know how hard you've worked.
Still mumbling, bumbling, stumbling, Biden has not been seen by the public since announcing his departure from the race. Here with reaction, former White House physician, Texas Congressman Ronnie Jackson, Fox News contributor Charlie Hurt. Two things, Ronnie Jackson, you had pointed out his cognitive decline like I did even before the 2020 election, and you've taken a lot of heat for it. What's your reaction to this, number one, and the shock and the surprise, which is, I think, feigned and phony? And more importantly, you've been treating President Trump since his ear was pierced with that bullet. How's he doing?
Well, first off, Sean, President Trump's doing well. He's doing really well. He's recovering well, despite the fact that, you know, he was less than 2 centimeters from having a bullet traveling at 3,300 feet per second, actually enter his head and probably take the entire back of his head off as it exited. That's how serious this was. This passed right next to his head from a high-powered rifle. And he's doing well. It cut out the top part of his ear. He has a 2-centimeter deficit in the top of his ear and the helix of his ear, but it's healing well now, so he's doing well. And I know I express the same thing most of the country does. I'm really glad that that's the case, but yeah.
Will he need any kind of operation or surgery or to fix? I mean, what he said originally was it pierced his ear. Is that correct?
Well, what it did is the bullet went over the top of his ear. The cartilage in his ear remained intact, but all of the tissue over the top of the cartilage was gone. So it's there's a groove. There's that would be the shape of the bullet that just took the top part of the ear off. So the architecture of his ear is still intact. So he probably won't have to have any plastic surgery. That'll really be up to him. But it'll heal in. But it's not going to be exactly. It's not going to be a smooth surface like it was before. It's been scooped out by the bullet. And I mean, I just want people to remember that this bullet was, had the ability, and under normal circumstances, if it would have hit him in the head, it would have not only killed him, it would have literally blown part of his head off. And so that's how serious this was. And so it irks me to no end when people are trying to minimize what happened, because this was a very, very serious assassination attempt.
It's a millimeter away from a state funeral. That's where we were.
That's right.
What about the big lie and the biggest liar in terms of covering up and lying about Joe's cognitive state, Charlie Hurt? That would be Kamala Harris.
Yeah. Yeah, everything that we've sort of been through the last couple of days with Joe Biden and Kamala Harris is extraordinary under any circumstances, but it's particularly extraordinary when you realize that these are the same people, the Biden administration, Kamala Harris, leading Democrats, the very Democrats who are trying to push Joe Biden out of office, are the exact same people who have been lying to the American people for years now, and particularly over the past 6 or 8 months, where it's clear that the president's cognitive state has gotten even worse. They've been lying to the people about who's running the country, the state of the president's and his ability to make decisions for the country. And so when you have what has happened the last couple of days, and, obviously there was that voice call that we heard from Joe Biden, but I don't think that that's particularly reassuring. This is a huge moment in American history, and the idea that the President of the United States does not come out and address the American people. There are no photographs. You read that statement. The statement sounds weird. There are a lot of questions. And when you know the track record of lying from these people, it makes it all the more troubling.
Yeah. All right. Thank you both, Charlie Hurt and Dr. Ronnie Jackson. Appreciate you being with us. When we come back, the co-hosts of that hard-hitting news show, The View, had a lot to say about Joe Biden dropping out of the race and Kamala Harris taking his place at the top of the ticket. We're going to tell you what they said, and we'll get reaction. We welcome back tonight Elizabeth Hasselbeck. Straight ahead.
All right, guys. So, a lot to talk about there. It's insane to me that if that bullet would have hit Trump's head, I didn't think about that before, that it would have blown off part of his head. So, you know, you've seen that graphic that's going around where the bullet's like goes through his ear, but if his head was turned just a little bit, the bullet would have cut through his head. And, you know, a lot of people are like, well, he probably still would have survived or whatever, but you got to realize it's not just a straight line. That bullet would have been more like a cone after it enters the head. It would not have been good. And that was huge to me listening to that, was that, man, Trump really was just that close to being dead. Biden didn't sound so great in that phone call. So as I was listening to him, I was thinking, why are they letting him speak at this rally? He doesn't sound good at all. And then I realized it's because it no longer matters if Biden speaks. There's no reason for the cover-up anymore. Now they can let the president... And that's another crazy thing. As I was listening to him speak at that rally on the phone, I was thinking, yeah, this is the old guy, old Biden, right? Kamala's in now. But she's not. He's still the president. We got to remember, Joe Biden is still the president of the United States. And I feel like everyone has moved past him. The Republicans are like, let's go Trump. Trump is already their leader. The Democrats have turned very quickly to Kamala, and they see her as their new leader. And Biden is just the guy calling into the rally saying, you got my support, you know? It's crazy how much the dialogue has changed and how much that Joe Biden is now just in a forethought. He's just in the background, but he's still the president. And honestly, that's a little bit concerning because, you know, and again, I hope Joe Biden recovers from COVID and everything, but it's concerning that he's our president. He's still the commander-in-chief of the U.S. military. Are we going to make it to November? Kamala may be president, not because Biden might die, but because Biden may not be fit to lead the country. He might not be fit right now to lead the country. Anyway, a lot of concerning things. Very interesting to see what's going to happen over the next few weeks, over the next few months as we lead up to the election. Anyway, guys, I appreciate y'all watching. You know, I'm going to have another video up soon over the Gutfeld show, which is next. So, you know, subscribe. Stay tuned to the channel, guys. Leave a like. Hit that thumbs up button. It helps out the channel. I appreciate all of you. Y'all have a good one, and I'll see y'all in a little bit.